Greetings, family. Wholeness and balance. One love. Jesse Tree here in my food forest garden. And wanted to just take a moment here to talk to you about food forests and prana and the Essenes. So if you're not familiar with the Essenes, they were a group of people who lived in the desert in the Middle East, and they were Pranic people too. They were vegetarian, vegan, and they spent their time growing food in abundance and sharing it with their neighboring communities. They would also spend their time in meditation and contemplation and study. And they're characterized by being very gentle people, very, very sensitive and caring, and having a sort of mysticism enshrined in nature. And I first heard about the Essenes through Dan McDonald, the Life Regenerator, where he got turned on to raw food, being very devoutly Christian, and he found out about the Essene Gospel of Peace, which is a gospel that is omitted from King James Version of the Bible, where Jesus, or actually I like to think of him as Yeshua, because Jesus is Jesus, and borrowed, it was kind of put in and overlaid on top of the Christian religion from the Romans, when the Roman political system got involved in Christianity as a religion, and most of the things in the Bible, we think of, kind of culturally as, this allegorical level, taken literally, when there's actually 7 layers of the Bible. It's also a medical text, an astrological text, and so it's been overlaid, many other cultures, the pagan cultures of, Europe and stuff, and that it actually talks about the Son of God, the sun, right? And that, on winter solstice it dies. For 3 days the sun stays, the day of length stays the same length, and then it starts to come back. So, in a way, the Son of God, rises again, right? So the Essenes were keyed in to like another form of mysticism within the Bible, and Jesus, or Yeshua himself, actually studied Buddhism and Indian philosophy. In the years that he was missing, he was studying abroad various forms of mysticism. So it's important not to stay dogmatic, in my view, of this religion, and I feel like the Rastas have an understanding of these more mystical aspects of Christianity. I'm a Buddhist myself, but I was raised in the Christian faith, and I actually, that's a way in which I personally can tap into it, is through this wisdom from the Essenes and from Rastafari, So, because Rastafari is he's a conquering line of the tribe of Judah. He's actually a descendant of Yeshua. So, and the Rastas actually have knowledge of the Ark of the Covenant and are supposedly keepers of it. It's partly why I grow dreadlocks. It's also part of the yogic tradition, and that this are antenna, all these coils of hair, just like an antenna that's coiled has more receptivity. So with respect to the pranic life, these are some of the ways in which we, bring in the prana through our hair, and this connection with the Son of God, because the sun is what brings life and nourishment to the planet each and every day, consistently. There's also this knowledge that comes through this wisdom tradition of the angels of earth, wind, fire, and water. That's what Yeshua talks about in the Essene Gospels of Peace, that you can heal with the angels of earth, wind, fire, and water. You know, get your body out in the physical sun and get that vitamin D, get the prana, you know, through your eyes, you know, that the spine is a transmitter receiver, and the pineal gland is a transmitter receiver of cosmic energy and God force, so to speak. So then there's, you know, healing with the angel of earth. This is grounding, getting barefoot on the earth. This is using mud to detoxify, you know, getting your body covered in mud. This is also eating good food of the earth, you know, clean food grown from the earth. And water, right? You know, water, obviously water is life, and breath work, meditation and breath work. You know, that the angel of air, being out in the air, being out in the sun, you know, connected with the earth. These are all healing forces in our life. So, you know, the Essenes are very interesting to me, and especially in this context of permaculture and where we're at right now. Like, Bill Mollison challenges us permaculture students to grow 8 acres worth of food on 1 acre. And I live here in the desert. Like, I don't know if you can see the hills over there, but it's all cactus and dust. We just had our first rain today after fires. And so you really start to, it punctuates the blessing that water is. But you can see here, through planting a perennial system that is layered, that you can actually grow a lot of food. We grow our annuals in and amongst the perennials. So we have our corn and our onions and our garlic and our squashes and our tomatoes and everything growing in this system, just like you would in a forest. So that was part of something that the Essenes were very hot on, was to grow abundance of food. And we forget that our abundance, our economic abundance, is tied with biological abundance. If you haven't checked it out already, check out the movie Kiss the Ground. And they show a demonstration of the lowest plateau in China, which was the cradle of Chinese civilization. It was completely denuded by livestock overgrazing. And through, you know, economic funding from, you know, various sources, the Chinese government and international sources, and, you know, their large, you know, workforce, they were able to recreate that space as a Garden of Eden, full of food. You know, I forget how many, it's something on the size of the country of Belgium that they rehabilitated. And we have been desertifying the earth with our agricultural industrial systems and chemical agriculture and tilling. And permaculture, we use no-till systems of agriculture. So when you till up the soil, you release all the inert gases into the air. This causes greenhouse global warming and too much carbon in the air. It also destroys the soil life. 90% of life on the earth is below the soil. So by doing no-till agriculture and building the soil from the top down, and by putting rainwater harvesting, you know, earthworks in, and native plants, we can regrow the earth, and we can regrow economic abundance. And I feel that this is going to be the thing that unifies humanity, helps our environmental situation, our health situation, our economic situation, when we realize our true abundance is this natural abundance that's all around us, and that we as human beings, you know, the biblical sort of sense is that we have dominion over the earth, but truly we are the caretakers of the earth. We are the gardeners of the earth. And this is, I believe, our natural biological function. Since I've started practicing permaculture 22 years ago, I saw how I felt like I was bad for the earth. The activity I was doing, just buying stuff in plastic packages and driving around in cars and everything, was bad for the earth. Now I see how my activity on this land, this used to all be just cactus and grass, and now it's a thriving system. You'd have to come in with bulldozers and chainsaws to tear this place apart. And this layered system of forest can sequester way more carbon. It can create way more food, and a typical forest has much more food and a larger diversity of food, an acre of forest than an acre of, monocultured, crops. So just a little food for thought for you all today. And, I would encourage you all to get into the angels of earth, wind, fire, and water and practice gardening. It's a fantastic way to connect with these elements and to build prana in the body. And right this moment, I'm getting electrons from the sun. I'm gathering up negative ions from the earth. I'm growing food for my family. And this is the way in which we can transform and transmute this collective situation. We can use our effort and energy. I feel this is a matter of international security. And that if we could direct more of our energy towards healing the earth, we will heal all of the other systems of the earth and our human systems. So, hope you got something from this. One love, people. Have a beautiful day.